A $1,200 pistol can cost less than $180 to manufacture. That markup isn't buying you tighter tolerances. It's buying a legend, a logo, and a marketing department. Today, we're ranking 10 handgun brands. 5 whose prices are built on heritage and hype, and 5 where your money actually goes into the steel. Starting at number 10 with an American icon whose name now costs more than its machining. Number 10. Colt sets the stage for the heritage markup game. A Colt 1911 government model routinely retails between $900 and $1,100, yet the production process behind it is largely indistinguishable from mid-tier 1911s selling for $500 to $600. Strip away the roll marks and put the parts on a bench, and the story falls apart. The forged frames and slides are solid, genuinely good steel, but the internals rely on the same cast and metal injection molded small parts found in guns costing half as much. The extractors, the sears, the thumb safeties. Ordinary components from ordinary suppliers. What you are paying for is the rampant Colt stamped on the slide, a trademark carrying 170 years of legend, from the single-action army to the sidearms of 2 world wars. And here is the detail most buyers never learn. That trademark is now owned by CZG, the Czech holding group that acquired Colt in 2021 for $220 million, after the company had already passed through bankruptcy in 2015. The American heritage story is real. The history happened. But the ownership is European, the parts bin is ordinary, and the legend is doing the work the machining should be doing. When a fitted barrel and hand-tuned trigger are absent, the price is carrying history, not craftsmanship. The result? You are buying a museum name attached to a production line pistol. Colt's markup is steep, but among the legacy brands, it is only the beginning. Number 9. Kimber built an empire on the promise of a custom shop 1911 at a production price. The price tags say custom, the internals say otherwise. A Kimber Custom 2 retails for $850 to $1,000, and the gun looks every dollar of it. Deep bluing, clean lines, checkered grips, photography ready from every angle. Now open it up. The fire control group is assembled with metal injection molded components throughout. The sear, the disconnector, the hammer. The same cost-saving process used in pistols, selling for $450. Understand what MIM actually is. Powdered metal mixed with a polymer binder, injected into a mold, then sintered in a furnace. MIM parts are not defective by nature, but they are cheap by nature, costing a fraction of parts machined from bar stock, which is precisely why budget manufacturers use them. A true custom shop replaces these parts first. Kimber ships them as standard, then stamps the word custom on the slide of a gun that never saw a custom shop and never met a fitting bench. The rest of the price gap is marketing. Kimber's advertising leans on glossy photography, full-page magazine spreads, and dealer counter displays, and every dollar of that budget is folded directly into the retail price. Read that again. You are paying for the photo shoot that convinced you to buy it. In the end, you are paying custom shop money for production line metallurgy dressed in a beautiful finish. Number 8. Magnum Research's Desert Eagle is the clearest case of a handgun priced by Hollywood rather than function. Retail sits between $1,600 and $2,200 depending on finish, and the chrome, tiger stripe, and gold versions climb higher still. Now look at what the money buys. The gun itself is a gas-operated novelty. Massive, heavy at nearly 4.5 pounds unloaded, with a grip too large for most hands, and recoil that makes fast follow-up shots an exercise in optimism. It is impractical for defense, too heavy for carry, and absent from serious competition. The manufacturing is competent. That has never been the question. The question is what the price is built on, and the answer is not precision. It is 4 decades of movie placements, video game appearances, and poster walls. The Desert Eagle has appeared in more than 500 films and countless game franchises, And every one of those appearances functions as unpaid advertising that gets converted into sticker price. Carr Firearms Group, the parent company, understands exactly what it is selling. An image. The titanium gold finish alone adds hundreds of dollars for zero mechanical benefit. Not one of those dollars tightens a group or smooths a trigger. The verdict: you are paying for a prop with a serial number, and the screen time is baked into the sticker. Number 7. Springfield Armory presents the story of an American heritage name applied to imported production. The original Springfield Armory was a federal arsenal, founded under George Washington in 1794, that produced weapons for every American conflict until the government closed it in 1968. The modern company has no connection to that institution. It purchased the name in 1974, and, with it, 2 centuries of borrowed credibility. Its best-selling XD and Hellcat pistol lines are not made in Illinois. They are manufactured by HS Product in Karlovac, Croatia, then shipped across the Atlantic, branded, marked up, and sold under an American revolutionary identity, complete with crossed cannon logos and Minuteman imagery. The Hellcat retails around $550 to $600 in the United States, while HS Product's own domestic versions of similar platforms sell in European markets for significantly less. The difference is the costume. Let this be clear. The engineering is genuinely good. Croatian production is modern. The designs are proven, and the pistols run. That is not the issue. The issue is a price premium attached to a heritage story the product has no connection to. A markup collected for a museum the company never owned. What's left is a Croatian pistol wearing a tricorn hat, and the costume is what you are paying for. Number 6. Cabot Guns sets the ultimate bar for markup in the handgun world. Cabot's 1911s start around $4,000 and climb past $10,000, with one meteorite billet showpiece, carved from a 4.5 billion-year-old Gibeon meteorite, priced in the millions. The machining is genuinely exceptional. Frames and slides are cut from solid billet on aerospace-grade CNC equipment in Pennsylvania, by a company that began as a precision parts supplier for industries where tolerances are measured in microns. None of that is in dispute. But here is the uncomfortable math. A fully hand-fitted 1911 from a respected custom builder with match-grade barrel, tuned trigger, and a written accuracy guarantee can be had for $2,500 to $3,500. That is the ceiling of mechanical performance. Past that number, a 1911 does not shoot tighter, cycle smoother, or last longer. Cabot's pricing above that line is not buying additional performance. It is buying exclusivity, mirror polishing, presentation cases lined like jewelry boxes, and the deliberate positioning of a firearm as luxury artifact. The marketing language confirms it. Functional art, heirloom, investment piece. A pistol that shoots no tighter than one costing a third of its price is not a tool at that point. It is a status object with a trigger. This is the most egregious spread on the list. Identical practical output, priced like a Swiss watch. Verdict: past a certain number, every additional dollar buys prestige, not precision. Number 5. Ruger stands out as the manufacturer that brings honest engineering to the bottom of the price ladder. The Ruger Security 9 and the 5.7 line retail between $300 and $450, and the company's entire model is built on efficient American manufacturing rather than marketing spend. Here is what makes Ruger different from every exposed brand above it. The books are open. Ruger is a publicly traded company, and its quarterly filings tell the story in plain numbers. Modest margins, enormous volume, continuous reinvestment into CNC capacity across plants in Prescott, Arizona, Newport, New Hampshire, and Myodan, North Carolina, all of it domestic, all of it disclosed to shareholders every 90 days. There is nowhere to hide a hype premium in a balance sheet that public. The engineering follows the same logic. The Security 9 uses a hammer-fired design adapted from the proven LCP architecture rather than an expensive clean sheet development, which is exactly why it can retail at $329 and still deliver reliability that embarrasses pistols costing twice as much. There is no celebrity ambassador, no cinematic ad campaign, no limited edition engraved for a manufactured anniversary. And behind every gun sits a warranty culture that has become quietly legendary. Ruger repairs firearms with no receipt, no registration, and no questions, often covering guns decades old that the company technically never guaranteed at all. For the buyer, the value is direct. You are paying for machined steel, tested designs, and a company that answers to auditors instead of ad agencies. Function per dollar. Few brands come close. Number 4. Canik takes the value equation and adds transparency most brands avoid. Every Canik TP9 and Mite series pistol ships from the Turkish factory with a package that would cost $150 to $200 in accessories elsewhere. A fitted holster, multiple back straps, a magazine loader, cleaning tools, and 2 magazines, all included at a retail price of $400 to $550. Read that again. The accessories alone offset a third of the purchase price before the gun ever fires a round. The slides and frames come off the same modern CNC lines in Samsung that produce components under NATO contracts, held to military acceptance standards, not consumer-grade tolerances. The triggers are the clearest evidence. Out of the box, a Canik trigger routinely breaks cleaner and lighter than striker-fired pistols in the $700 class, a fact confirmed repeatedly in side-by-side gauge measurements, not marketing copy. Century Arms handles importation and keeps distribution deliberately lean, avoiding the layered wholesale markups that inflate other European imports by 40% or more before they reach a shelf. The markup over production cost lands near the lowest in the industry. There is no legacy story here, no century of folklore to charge for. Canik cannot sell you history, so it sells you output, measured trigger weight, documented accuracy, and a box full of equipment. This is a brand competing on what can be verified, rather than what can be marketed. What you pay is what you get, and usually a little more. Number 3. Palmetto State Armory rewrites the playbook with a direct-to-consumer model that removes nearly every layer between factory and buyer. The PSA Dagger, a Glock pattern pistol manufactured in Columbia, South Carolina, retails for $299 and frequently drops to $249 on sale. Consider what that number means. Most major brands cannot get a pistol through their distribution chain for that figure, let alone manufacture, ship, and warranty one. The price is possible because Palmetto owns its own manufacturing, machines its own stainless slides, sells through its own website, and spends almost nothing on traditional advertising, relying instead on volume and word of mouth from a customer base that does the marketing for free. There is no wholesale markup, no distributor cut, no licensing fee, no storefront rent baked into the sticker. Every layer that quietly adds $50 to $100 to a conventional pistol has been stripped out, and the savings pass straight to the buyer. The engineering choice is just as deliberate as the business model. The Dagger is built on the proven Gen 3 Glock pattern, which means it inherits 2 decades of validated reliability data and accepts the largest aftermarket ecosystem in the handgun world: sights, barrels, triggers, and holsters by the thousands. Palmetto did not reinvent the pistol, it reinvented the price. This is what a handgun costs when the brand machine is removed and only the factory remains. Number 2. CZ has redefined what production line craftsmanship means at a mid-tier price. The CZ75 platform and the modern P10 and Shadow 2 lines are machined in Uherský Brod, in the Czech Republic, a factory with continuous production history stretching back to 1936, through war, occupation, and privatization, without ever stopping the lines. That continuity matters. The institutional knowledge inside that plant cannot be purchased, licensed, or replicated by a startup with a CNC catalog. The Shadow 2 is the proof. At $850 to $950, it delivers competition-grade fitting, hand-tuned trigger components, precision slide-to-frame mating on full steel rails, and all-steel construction weighing in at over 46 ounces. A package that American custom shops charge $2,000 or more to replicate on a 1911 frame. This is the pistol that dominates production division in international competition, not because of sponsorship money, but because the slide-to-frame fit is measured in thousandths. CZ publishes exact specifications for every model: barrel cold hammer forging, steel composition, trigger pull weights in newtons and pounds. There is no mystery in what you are buying, and no adjective doing the work a number should do. The company spends its budget on engineering staff and Olympic shooting programs rather than lifestyle campaigns and influencer contracts. The result is a rare alignment in this industry. The price tracks the machining hours, and the machining hours show up on the target. And finally, in first place, Glock delivers the most honest price-to-function ratio in the entire handgun market, and it does so by refusing to play the branding game at all. A Glock 19 retails between $500 and $550, a price that has barely moved in real terms for 2 decades, while nearly every competitor has climbed. The polymer frame and cold hammer-forged barrel are produced at a volume no competitor matches, with estimated production costs among the lowest in the industry. Yet the retail markup stays disciplined, because the company sells on one metric: the gun works. Every time. In sand, in mud, in freezing rain, after tens of thousands of rounds, documented in torture tests that have become their own genre. No gold finishes, no heritage storytelling, no celebrity campaigns, no anniversary editions engraved for collectors. The design philosophy is so consistent that an armorer certified 20 years ago can service the newest generation with a single punch and a bench. Parts cost pennies and swap in minutes, and the aftermarket is effectively infinite. That consistency is the quiet genius of the whole operation. Militaries and police agencies in dozens of countries issue it for the same reason a first-time owner buys it: predictability, parts, and a service life measured in decades. There is no story to pay for here, because the record is the story. Here, the label, the build, and the price are all in honest alignment. It is not the most beautiful pistol ever made. It is the most honest one. Across all 10 brands, one pattern stands out. Price rarely reflects performance. It reflects the cost of legends versus the cost of machining. In the handgun market, what you pay for is often a story, not steel. Value is not about the name on the slide. It is about tolerances, testing, and transparency. Buy the tool, not the myth.